And the winner to play Gary Wilson, who was also very impressive in the earlier session against He Guochang, who of course knocked out Neil Robertson. Wilson winning by whitewash, as O'Sullivan did yesterday. Fergal O'Brien back in the commentary box. Sadly, your charge not coming through earlier today, so the bonus is on hold, Fergal, but it was a great performance from Liam Pullen against Aaron Hill.
Yeah, absolutely. Liam played better on the day, worthy winner. But from Aaron, still a very good tournament, great progress. Another 147, so plenty of tournaments to look forward to as well for him.
Yeah, and congratulations to Liam Pullen, who's going to be appearing in his first ranking quarter-final. He'll be playing Daniel Wells, last year's semi-finalist, who's continuing to find life very pleasurable in XiaN. Meanwhile, O'Sullivan picking up where he left off against Maguire with a nice initial red. Just their third meeting. O'Sullivan's won the previous two, most recently the aforementioned International Championship, which was a close one, 6-4 in round 3 2 years ago.
Shot on the black, didn't cue particularly well, nearly a bit of a miscue. As a result, lost position on the red. Slightly out of position here with this. Always tricky, these shots. The balls are so close together. Tendency to catch them thick.
He started the match yesterday against Maguire with a 1-3-4 total clearance, and that really did set the tone. Maguire had a couple of half chances, not much more than that really. His mistakes amplified by the excellence of O'Sullivan.
15.
Ronnie's break off, getting so close behind the green. It's created this opportunity. See it a lot with O'Sullivan when he's breaking off. Does tend to err on the side of overhitting it and trying to bring the green into play, maybe get a bit of cover from it. Worked to his advantage here. Just look at it, and nicely on this red at the bottom of the cluster. Yeah, that anxious looking means maybe he's just gone a fraction too far. He'll be frustrated if he has, because if he is on it, it's perfect to pot it, disturb reds. Yeah, not on it.
At times, these match tables have felt as though they've been playing quite heavily, maybe the cloth a little damp because of the humidity that you always get here in Asia. Nevertheless, we've had 76 centuries here at the venue, 2 147s from Aaron Hill and, of course, Judd Trump. So the breaks have been flying in.
Judge that glance well off 2 cushions. First opportunity for Jack to have a go at a pot. Certainly not the easiest of shots.
Just one quarter-final appearance in a ranking event for Jones last season. That was the British Open. He lost to Zhao Xintong in the first round of the World Championship, but then again, so did everyone else.
Surprised on that last red. A couple of options. He could have ran it through or stunned over. I like to play with the safety shot. Chances against O'Sullivan are a little bit harder to come by. So a half a chance can be deemed a chance.
One.
Nicely struck. You've seen Ronnie many times, despite playing really well, being critical of his performance and how he felt and where his game was at. So he's talking very positive about he's hitting the ball. It's an ominous warning for the rest of the players. If he's happy with his game, he's enjoying it more, he's more disciplined, he'll take some beating.
It's been 21 months, believe it or not, since he last won a ranking event. The World Grand Prix against Trump in January of last year. Of course, he missed 7 tournaments last season, withdrew from a lot of events, smashed his queue after the Championship League last January. But seems to be very happy with the one he's got now, made by Sonny Akani. Maybe just something stuck on the black ball there, so...
Be interesting if Ronnie has to play Sonny during the season. Probably regretting making him such a good cue.
I don't think it's been bad for business, though. If O'Sullivan's endorsing
absolutely
your cue, then you're onto something
15.
Potentially quite lucrative.
I've seen 1 or 2 posts from Sonny. I think it was 2 in the morning. He was busy putting a tip on or doing some work with somebody's cue. So great for business. Maybe not so ideal if you're a professional snooker player.
16.
Another good pot from O'Sullivan.
$23. 24.
Made the semi-finals last year, losing to eventual champion Kyron Wilson, who of course has now gone, emphatically so, at the hands of that stunning display from Murphy in the afternoon session.
$29. $30.
Typical positional shot from Ronnie there, playing for the black. The amount of times he lands parallel that black is uncanny. It's a massive part of his success, being such a great break builder. Just makes life so much easier.
Again, O'Sullivan not happy about the black ball. Maybe there's a very slight indentation in it, not sure. Perhaps they'll change it. I think O'Sullivan's suggesting they get a new one.
Yeah, he's not happy with the black, but he just said, look, let me polish these balls off and then change for the next frame, as you do.
38.
He's not one to have his rhythm disrupted happily, is he, O'Sullivan? Everything's got to be right.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think there was a mark on the black. I think he might have even felt didn't get the reaction he wanted from the black. But certainly very unusual. Again, he works in millimeters. Smallest margins,
45.
smallest detail can affect him.
And that's frame ball.
46.
So, once again, O'Sullivan making pretty light work of a frame. A couple of scoring visits. He beat Maguire yesterday in barely an hour's playing time. Maguire just could not get any traction at all. Jones hoping there won't be a repeat today. But it's another impressive start from the 7 times world champion.
53.
Yeah, that's the problem playing O'Sullivan. This frame, Jack, he was snookered once, let Ronnie in. Had a very speculative attempt at a long red, let Ronnie in. That's the game, gone. That's the problem. You don't have to make any glaring mistakes to lose frames and lose them quickly.
58. Ronnie OSullivan, 58. And the frame.
There's always the chance that Jones might decide to play on there to get a feel for conditions, but he's conceded. And so Ronnie O'Sullivan off to a very good start here in XiaN in his bid for a place in the last 8. He leads former World Championship runner-up Jack Jones by 1 frame to 0. It's still the best of 9, the first of 5 to go through.
Jack Jones, Prix.
Jack Jones not troubling the scorers in frame one, breaking off in the second. His opponent going for a 149th ranking quarter-final appearance this evening, which has produced a shake of the head in amazement from my co-commentator.
Just the 149. Unbelievable.
One.
Well, as we've discussed, very unusual for O'Sullivan to talk himself up, even when he's produced amazing snooker. But this week, he actually said he's been hitting the ball so well in practice, it's almost bored him. Oh, to be bored.
Gotta love him.
Jones, at the moment, having to be patient and hope that he gets a chance soon to establish himself in this match.
Eight. Nine.
The first frames, by the way, on tables 1 and 3 have gone respectively to Ding Junhui and Mark Williams against Oliver Lyons and Barry Hawkins. All 4 matches on Discovery Plus. It's not gone as well as it might have done for O'Sullivan. Very awkward queuing. Not that you'd have thought so.
Yeah, did well with that. You could see his bridge hand was slightly trembling as he was playing. It was that awkward. Anxiously wheeling that white ball around the corner past the pink. Looks to be on it.
24.
The red at the bottom of the pack is to the right is crucial. Looking to pot the black and
25.
leave half ball on that red. So when he pots it, guaranteed to open up the pack.
$32. 33.
Fraction straighter on the red than he would have ideally liked. As a result, only brought a couple reds into play. Because only a couple came out, he will have to go into them again. Interesting to see how he approaches it.
37. 38.
'After putting this red, he's looking to leave himself parallel on the black.
43.
Can go into them, or maybe the reds now to the right-hand side bottom might be available. He could do something similar to what he did a couple of minutes ago. Yeah, that shot's obviously on. The red goes, and he'll worked out where exactly he'd like the white. If he's straight, he'll have to go plan B. Disturb him from the black.
52.
Yeah, absolutely parallel, perfect again. One good split. That's another frame gone.
Looks like he's got one to
59.
the centre at least. Very rare for O'Sullivan not to land on one when he goes into the pack.
$60.
Mark Williams made a century in his first frame, by the way, against Hawkins to lead 1-0. Ding Junhui made a 63 in his first against Oliver Lyons. And O'Sullivan with not much more to do to double his lead here.
$64.
Must be straight or off straight in this red. So when he puts it, might be able to get high on the blue. And because it was frame ball,
65.
more or less when he puts the blue, didn't want to take any unnecessary risk. Still enough angle on the blue to come in and out of balk.
So that's another frame gone, and we've only been going barely 20 minutes, if that. Jones hasn't done much wrong, he's just not done much,
71.
period, and it was very much the case with Maguire yesterday. I'm sure he would have left the arena after shaking O'Sullivan's hand, Stephen Maguire, thinking, I've not really been in a match, I've just been
78.
sitting in my chair.
79.
He turns 50 in December, remember? No evidence of slowing down.
$86. $87.
He really has break building down to an art form. As he makes these breaks, it's hard to nearly remember when it's over any particular shot he played. He just makes it look so simple.
94.
He's in the right position so often,
95.
just so efficient.
For his 5th century of the week. And the crowd once again being
101.
royally entertained. And O'Sullivan has made that point again this week, that's perhaps the thing he likes most about his legacy. The way he plays the game, the fact that his fans are very loyal, because he almost always generates excitement.
$110.
And does it, when he's in this mood, effortlessly.
$113.
You could argue the point. You shouldn't leave any red from your break off.
117.
But Ronnie had to swerve, half swerve around the green to make contact with the red to pull it. Move the black, and that was that.
122. $128.
Started his match with Maguire with a 134 total clearance yesterday. But he's just tucked in here with a 135. Brilliant stuff from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Intimidating stuff if you're Jack Jones, who's barely had a shot so far and finds himself already 2-0 in arrears. O'Sullivan just 3 frames off to a flyer. O'Sullivan making his 5th century of the tournament just now, and looking once again
The set frame.
extremely
Only O'Sullivan.
on point. Frame 3. And again, a very effective break-off.
Yeah, as I mentioned the last one, always errs on hitting a bit harder to bring that green into play, rather than trying to be too precise and leave it tight on the cushion. Just gives him a greater margin for error.
If there's one shot that O'Sullivan has found problematic in the last few years, it is the break-off, but even that seems to be working for him, although he won't be thrilled with that one. That was loose to catch the blue full ball, so half a chance here for Jones.
Yeah, it's only half a chance, but it does feel important. His bridge hand was very close to the green. Made it a little bit unstable. Wise choice, I think, playing it with the rest.
That's a consequence, surely, of just not having many shots so far. It's a pot that, if Jones was in full flow, he would get at least 9 times out of 10, but because he's had so little so far, it just makes a shot like that little bit trickier.
Yeah, combination of being cold and also under pressure already. He felt at the start of the match that Jack would have to make a good start to the match. That hasn't happened, but it's crucial. If he's going to win this match, he has to make a good start of the frames. He has to get in first, and when he's in, he's got to score. Got to get in first, try and get the win and losing this match in his hands.
Currently at 19 in the world, Jones achieved a career high of 14 after that memorable run to the world final, when he played some great stuff. Of course, he beat Judd Trump en route. So a couple of errors from O'Sullivan early in this frame.
Might be tempted potting the red to try and get a cannon of those 2 reds and the black, but might be wise to avoid that if he can. Just try and get on some colour. Played that very well.
Foul.
Good pot and perfect cannon.
Ronnie OSullivan. 4.
Oh, he's confessed a foul. Would you believe it? I was just about to say it's a good way to open your account, having not scored in the first 2 frames, but in potting that red, he's committed a foul. O'Sullivan acknowledging his sportsmanship. Would you believe it?
Yeah, maybe taking the rest away. He might have just clipped something. Didn't seem like he kind of feathered.
Wow, O'Sullivan, ruthless as he normally is, will look to take advantage.
Yeah, as well. He doesn't even get the 1 point for putting it. We've seen already today with Sean Murphy going on a run. 533 unanswered points. Ronnie's already at 220.
Oh, yeah, clearly caught the red as he was moving the equipment away. Immediately alerted the referee. So from bad to worse for Jones. And it was a good pot, wasn't it?
Yeah, and got the cannon perfect. I'm not sure he got away with the foul, but to be fair to him, straight away he owned up to it. And you noticed as well when Ronnie came to the table, that little tap of the table, which is to acknowledge that bit of sportsmanship.
7.
Which we take for granted, to be fair, in the game. Still always good to see.
9.
Rare error from Ronnie there. Just lost slight control of the cue ball. Wants to be on the black. Oh, hit that bad. Missed it by a lot.
Ronnie OSullivan, 10.
So the foul just now from Jones not proving too significant, and here's another good chance for him to establish himself. One finally has a legal point on the board. Barry Hawkins, by the way, made 90 in the second frame against Mark Williams. He started with a century, so 1-1 on table 3, or table 4, I should say. All 4 matches on Discovery Plus in this evening session.
Hey.
O'Sullivan attending to his tip. Jones can be a prolific scorer. In the 2025 Championship League, he made a record for the most centuries in a single event, 32 in that tournament. Yes, it's a group phase and there are several groups, but even so, a measure of what he can do when he gets the opportunity.
I spoke with Dylan Emery quite recently, who practices a lot with Jack, and he was saying that exact thing, that he's such a heavy scorer. To be fair, we've probably seen glimpses of that throughout his career. Just great all-round hard match player. But if he can bring more of that scoring power to his game, he's a serious contender for any tournament. To win tournaments, the business end, to beat the top players, solid hard match play will only get you so far. You have to score very heavy.
Well, it wasn't clean. It needed the jaw to drop in, but happily for Jones it has.
23.
He will be appearing in the upcoming International Championship in Nanjing next month. He beat a player we've seen in action this week, Mateusz Baranowski of Poland, 6-1. And of course had
28.
a terrific run to the recent English Open semi-finals, where he lost to Mark Allen in a decider, having been 3-0 up and then 5-3 up. One of many acts of escapology
29.
from the left-hander from Antrim that week.
I'm not
36.
sure he's on anything nice. Desperately trying to find something. He's just so reluctant to leave the table.
Check Jones. 36.
Quite surprising there. Playing that, leaving this red for Ronnie.
One thing about Jones, he's not the quickest player, but he does play the positive shot. He's not afraid to take a risk or go for a difficult one. We saw a lot of that in his run to the Crucible final.
Yeah, the problem with that red to middle that Jack did leave him, he's going to cannon into those other reds.
This is one of the few frames in this tournament so far where O'Sullivan has been challenged. He's won 17 of the 18 he's contested so far in XiaN. Yao Peng Cheng, the only player to take a frame off him so far.
Brilliant pot.
1.
Couldn't be sure at all where the cue ball was going to finish. Totally committed to that. Just backed himself, backed his cue action. You need another good bit of cue in here in this blue. Maybe playing another player, another occasion. The first red he mightn't have went for. Probably
6.
feels chances. Gilded's chances are harder to come by. But try and force things, make things happen.
Seven.
And if he's going for those kind of reds and potting them, that then also gives Ronnie something to be thinking about. Puts a little bit more pressure on his safety shots. He's over around that slightly.
12.
A bit thinner contact than this red he would have liked.
$13.
35 the lead. Colour to come with 51 remaining.
$15.
He has beaten Ronnie before, even though it wasn't in the Championship League, beaten 3-0 last year. Even that small win can be significant. Intimidating presence to play Ronnie. And try and feel as comfortable as you can against him. And having that win will help that feeling.
So this black is frame ball. Very well done. It was a terrific red and then the blue to follow from Jones that set up this chance to clinch the frame. A couple of mistakes
23.
Very rare ones from O'Sullivan so far this week in XiaN. And Jones has been able to take advantage, and he does possess a very cool temperament. He's not easily fazed. Terrific competitor. Only 43 left now, so that graphic is incorrect.
Jack Jones, 23.
I think he was a little bit fearful of playing the red pocket weight, and if he missed it, it's going to be easy for Ronnie to put red, black, and get in behind where the pink and red were.
1.
If he can somehow get behind the red, guaranteed snooker. As it is, have to go about it another way. 40 behind.
5. Ronnie, OSullivan, 9.
So 2 snookers. Jones hampered here, but if he can knock this red in, this frame is certainly over. It wasn't easy. I can think of other occasions in his career where O'Sullivan would have conceded this frame, but I think it's indicative of how dialed in he is at the moment with his game, both on and off the match table that he's battling on here. Of course, we saw a frame overturned from 3 snookers needed earlier this week in that extraordinary finish between Judd Trump and Matthew Stevens. Trump eventually forcing a re-spotted black and winning that frame, only for Stevens to then regroup in the decider.
Where the pink and particularly where the black are, big area to try and get a snooker behind. Also, the green being so close to the brown is to Ronnie's advantage, well needed a snooker. Just has to be careful. If you can't lay a snooker, make sure you keep the red on the table. You don't always have to go for a snooker every shot when you require one. Jack can be taking nothing for granted either. All depends. We're going to find out. Yeah, it's actually okay. I thought he might have to swerve it slightly, but
Having lost the first frame to a century from Mark Williams, Barry Hawkins has responded with breaks of 90 and 55 to now lead 2-1. The winner of that Hawkins-Williams match will play the winner of the match between Liu Haoshan and Stuart Bingham. Liu took the first. And that settles the argument in this third frame. So, typical battling qualities here from Jack Jones, who was completely closed out in the first 2. O'Sullivan continuing to impress. But a couple of errors from the Rocket in this one, and Jones got in with a great long red, and then, just as importantly, a long range and very missable blue. And that set up the chance to leave O'Sullivan needing snookers, which he hasn't been able to get.
Jack Jones, 3. Under frame.
O'Sullivan concedes. Jones is on the board. He's part of the match. Only the second frame that Ronnie O'Sullivan has lost so far this week. And as a result, his advantage halved. One more frame then to come before the mid-session interval. O'Sullivan leading by 2 frames. But here on table 2, Jack Jones now in the match, having won frame 3 impressively. So Ronnie O'Sullivan 2-1 up. The winner, remember, to play Gary Wilson, who earlier beat the man who knocked out Neil Robertson, He Guo Chang, by 5 frames to 0. Wilson scoring heavily, as he is wont to do.
Ronnie wasn't tempted by that red. He could have went for it to the left corner. Maybe the fact that there was a red above the black would have put him under an awful lot of pressure playing it. Elected for the safety, very unusual for Ronnie, and playing that kind of shot to catch a ball colour. Jack did well winning that last frame. It was crucial. He knew that more than anybody else. He was part of the match. As I mentioned in the last frame, the start of each frame, this little control game to see who gets control, who gets the first chance, could well be pivotal in deciding the whole match. Struck that well, but just stayed out. The fact that he went for it and played it that way, again, is a sign of the confidence he has in his game.
One.
Good putt, perfect position. Chance to get down to the business end. Those reds and blacks.
We'll be hearing from Sean Murphy during the mid-session interval, which is coming up, of course, after this frame, talking about that stunning performance earlier against Kyron Wilson, which Murphy has said is the best he's ever played.
7.
Murphy plays the winner of the Lions Sting match next door in the last 8 tomorrow.
$14.
Slightly stretching.
Jack Jones, 14.
Yeah, I think maybe some sort of mini debrief there about the table.
Maybe maybe to be fair, he caught a thick. Maybe got a kick. It's noticeable. The chalk seems to be staying on the table. Seen the players wipe the chalk away numerous times. his reaction when he missed clipping the side of the table. He knew how important that chance was. He'd start to get a foothold into the match. And to let it go cheaply will hurt him.
Yeah, because it was beginning to look promising for Jones in his bid to level this match at 2-all, and that would have been a great result, having not potted a ball in the first 2 frames. But now the chance falls to OSullivan to restore that 2-frame cushion at the break. It's almost unheard of for OSullivan to talk about table conditions. In fact, I recall last season he was quite dismissive of those who do, saying, you always control the table, it never controls you. But even he's been a bit vocal this week about times challenging conditions here in XiaN.
9.
There would have been times when his attitude and application mightn't be at its very best. The table not being perfect could have affected him. The fact that he's accepted the conditions and trying to make the most of it shows what a good place he's in mentally. But that good place mentally has been affected there.
11.
Play to be on that red to right middle. Just have to slightly regroup. It's always a little bit more difficult playing a shot when you know you should have an easier one.
Okay.
Spotted something on the white, so referee XiaN will give it a clean. We've already had the black replaced.
Unusual to see that Ronnie going over to Jack. Obviously talking about that table, the conditions.
Go.
It's also very unusual. Ronnie can go months, it seems, without getting the cue ball clean. There's 2 shots in a row. I don't think he's using the chalk he normally uses. Maybe if it is a little bit damp, the chalk is just sticking to the white.
Yes, he's been very reluctant to switch to the more modern chalk, which seems to have gone a long way to, if not eliminating kicks, then greatly reducing them. But very little evidence visibly of chalk on the cloth today. So maybe it is something different from the norm for OSullivan.
The vast majority of the tour using town chalk.
22.
Ronnie used to use the old triangle. He's definitely using a different one. But I don't think it's town either.
23.
Seems to have regained his focus. Back engrossed. Trying to solve this puzzle here. Get the rest of the balls open.
$28. $29.
Beginning to look just a little ominous here for Jones, who of course was in, undercut the red to the right corner, and we saw his reaction Giving the table a thump as he went back to his chair.
$36. $43.
Oliver Lyons has pulled a frame back against Ding Junhui, so 2-1 now. Ding having made a 1-3-4 in the second frame.
$44.
Jack's frustration was born the fact, the importance of the frame. It's not the fact he's 3-1 down.
51.
He's going to lose heart or belief. It's the difference. Not only does it make to the scoreboard, 2 behind is supposed to be in level, but also the difference it can make to his opponent's confidence and mindset. Normal service resumed here for Ronnie.
$55.
He knows that mistake, this part of the match, could be as good as it gets for Jack.
$56.
Another excellent safety shot from O'Sullivan, ensuring he gets the right side of the blue. So just this red, and it's going to be 3-1 at the interval. It might well have been different had Jones not erred on the red.
62.
But O'Sullivan re-establishing control.
$67. $78.
Okay, so what might have been for that gentleman? Clearly not out of the match. But with much to do, the frame after the interval will become very significant
74.
for Jones.
75.
And every chance now that O'Sullivan will go on to complete
Hey,
his second century of the match, his 6th of the tournament.
82.
Of course, he didn't play in the last 3 ranking events. Hadn't played competitively since just missing out on that £500,000
85.
first prize in Saudi. Pipped at the post by Robertson. But he's clearly been doing a lot of very effective work on the practice table.
89.
Feeling very good about the way he's hitting the ball. And it's showing. Challenging
94.
conditions or no, O'Sullivan taking it in his stride. For the ton. Another superb break from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
100.
And that's the end of the mini session.
On a Prix.
Jack Jones paying a heavy price for missing that red. O'Sullivan stepping in with his 2nd century of the evening. His 6th of the tournament, and well placed when they come back in 15 minutes to move into his 149th ranking quarter-final. The 7 times world champion leading the Welshman Jack Jones at the break. But takes some stopping. You could say the same about Ronnie O'Sullivan, and they are, as mentioned, scheduled to meet in the semis. But of course, there's a lot of snooker to be played before that. It's places in the quarterfinals up for grabs again this evening. O'Sullivan 3-1 up on Jack Jones. The winner of this will play Gary Wilson, who was equally emphatic earlier in beating her Guo Zhang by whitewash. So O'Sullivan 3-1 to the good. He needs 2 more to go through to the last 8. Just to bring you up to date with the other scores, Barry Hawkins has taken a 3-1 interval lead over Mark Williams. It's 2-0 now to XiaN against Stuart Bingham. And we just saw Ding Junhui punishing Oliver Lyons, missed black off its spot for a 3-1 interval lead on table 1. All of those matches available when they resume, in the case of Lyons and Ding and Hawkins and Williams on Discovery Plus, and of course XiaN and Bingham still got a couple of frames to play before their mini break.
Ball on the maze.
Elected to play thin off that red. Had the option of playing off the pack, which he would normally play. He ended up being so fearful of catching it too thick, missed it altogether. Jack could have played a better safety, Ronnie with his hand on the table. This kind of shot, usually very good at popping the red and stun over for the black. That's a very high percentage of these. White ball's just travelled down a little bit more than he would have liked. That's a fraction more difficult, but has better angle on the black to go into them if he wants. Beautiful control cannon there. The exact red, the exact point.
8.
And as a bonus, that red at the bottom of the pack.
9.
He'll be looking to get on that half ball at some point. Pot that red, open the rest of the pack, be on the black. So this one
16.
shot could be the key to the whole frame.
17.
You can see by his reaction there, he wanted to run on a little bit more. Unusual for him in that position.
Yellow ball.
To lose position.
Ronnie OSullivan.
But accepted it, regrouped, and tried to play as good a safety as he could. It's obviously a good one there. A little tap on the table from Jack. He just, with the brown, he's blocked the red to the right-hand side. Again, very good signs there. Obviously going to be frustrated that he broke down, but maintained his discipline and tried to play the best shot he possibly could. Get a look here at what Jack is facing. None of it is good. That was the danger. Had to catch the pack thick. And in doing so, you run the risk of pushing a red over the pocket. That's exactly what's happened.
And look at the reds now. Spread everywhere. So one good shot here from OSullivan.
Yeah, we're going to see it here. Going to have to play with a trace of right-hand side to swerve it past the blue and bring it back towards the red. If he hits it too hard, the side won't take. Yeah, for him it's difficult. He looked at another option, but going to go with this one.
And he couldn't have played that any better, could he? It wasn't just the pot, clearly. It was getting out for the black as he wanted, and he's done that.
Yeah, the bit of right-hand side he had to play to make the pot work to his advantage. It became run inside and come off the two cushions and just get out. Won't be taking this black for granted, but you feel if he just pots this black where the reds are, every chance it's going to be 4-1.
don't recall O'Sullivan ever getting the cue ball cleaned as often as he has today. He's also been doing a lot of general maintenance of the table as he's been going, picking bits off the cloth, but doesn't seem to be affecting his focus at the moment. And as I say that, he's missed the black. Well, that's a potentially very significant moment in this match, because if O'Sullivan does what you'd have expected him to do there, it's 4-1, and this match is nearly gone for Jack Jones. What a chance this is to punish that mistake. Black's now tied up, but he's got the pink and the blue at least.
Yeah, he'd been surprised and delighted to see Ronnie missing that black. Needs a good visit here just to change the dynamics of the match.
Seven.
He hasn't spent much time in that chair this week. That third frame was only the second he's lost in this tournament so far.
8.
It feels like a must-win frame for Jones, particularly given what's just happened. Very unexpected error from O'Sullivan, having played such a good red initially. And of course, he was on the other side of it in the fourth frame when he missed, and O'Sullivan stepped in to punish.
Had originally played to leave an angle on the blue, but being straight has worked to his advantage. Blue gone on the pink spot, a little bit closer to the reds.
His highest break so far, just 36, so clearly that's going to have to change.
$19. 20.
As you mentioned earlier, Philip has a great temperament, and he's going to need that. Playing O'Sullivan, it's not just a test of your game, it's a test of your character.
27. 请将手机调到静音，谢谢。
Mobile phone going off. Haven't heard many of those this week, to be fair. There's been a bit of movement in the crowd, which has been a source of frustration for the players at times, but in the main, they're just thoroughly dialed into the quality of the snooker, and it's been of a very high level throughout this tournament so far. We'll be down to 8, of course, by close of play this evening. All of the quarterfinals coming up tomorrow, and then
34.
from Sunday, the semi-finals, we go up to the best of 11, first to 6. The final on Monday played over the best of 19.
The red beside the black,
40.
not an issue. Big enough lead, and the ball's available. We want it to go near that. Yeah, play that nicely. He's just giving himself that angle
41.
to put the pink and play for the red closest to the left pocket. Was just fearful of that other red close to the black cushion. Slightly in the way.
47.
Mark Williams has pulled the frame back, now trails Barry Hawkins 3-2. Oh no.
Jeff Jones, 47.
Well, that's another red that's gone astray into that left corner. It cost him a frame before the interval. He can't believe it. Pretty thin snick this. Yeah. Made all the more tricky because he was using the rest.
Seen Jack a couple of times now wiping his cue. Might be a little damp, therefore sticky out there. That would also explain a couple of bad contacts and also the chalk staying to the white ball.
O'Sullivan taking the opportunity to release the black. That makes life a lot easier for him. That's rather changed the complexion of this frame, that shot. 33 the deficit, but that's nothing really if he gets in.
Yeah, a little tap on the table from Jack, just to acknowledge that. He'd love to be on this red, just above the pink. As he's having a look, can he get past the yellow and have enough of the potting angle to pot it? Played as a shot to nothing. Played it as a shot to nothing, but as he left it, a little bit unfortunate in missing it. The red to come up that far.
Well, if O'Sullivan gets on a colour here, we have a new favourite for this frame.
One.
What a hammer blow this would be, even more so than the frame before the interval if O'Sullivan pinches this one.
Three.
Slightly hampered here. If you can drop it in, bring the black into play, and of course when the black goes onto its spot. I was going to say the black being on spot would have made the other red easier, but elected to play it there. Doesn't miss a trick, and now he's in prime position for the clearance.
11. Twelve. Nothing.
Oh, goodness me. Only just dropped. Just for a split second, Jones might have dreamt of a reprieve, but that expression tells the story. O'Sullivan now has this frame at his mercy, and it might just be the decisive blow in this match. Jones has had chances in the previous two.
28.
Missed a red in the previous frame, missed another one in this one to that left corner.
31.
Yeah, Jack will be fuming in his chair. Such a good opportunity. Bad red to miss. 3-2, he's right back in it.
35.
You feel you really have to play no miss snooker to win this match now.
40.
And against players a bit further down the field, you might get away with errors like that, but against O'Sullivan, playing as he is at the moment,
46.
you don't. A clinical 53 clearance from the 7 times world champion, tightening his grip on this round of 16 match here in XiaN and Jack Jones at the point of no return. 3 down with 4 to play. O'Sullivan, huge task on his hands. 4-1 down to O'Sullivan. Gary Wilson awaiting the winner in the quarterfinals tomorrow. And in the other round of 16 matches in this evening session, XiaN now 2-1 up on Stuart Bingham. Barry Hawkins 3-2 up on Mark Williams, who was 3-1 down at the interval, but Williams well ahead in frame 6. And the winner of the XiaN, Bingham and Hawkins Williams matches will play each other in the last 8.
Yeah, a lovely shot there. See it again, perfectly, so slowly, swerved around the yellow, come down the table, made perfect contact with the red. And playing it was low enough on the black to be able to go into them.
8. Nine.
He's a determined, tough character. He's not going to give up for 1 second. When you get the opportunities.
15.
You could have got odds of anything up to 200 to 1 on Jack Jones the year that he made it to the world final. Came through qualifying, of course, beat Zhou Yulong in the final qualifying round, and then Zhang Anda. We've seen what he's been doing in the last couple of seasons or so. Serge Wei, former semi-finalist at the Crucible. And then Judd Trump, 13-9 in the last 8. And against Stuart Bingham, who of course knocked out Ronnie O'Sullivan so impressively in the quarters, he won 9 of the last 12 frames of their semi-final.
Lovely shot there. Had himself a nice angle on the red. And judged it well. Not always easy to judge that kind of shot. Very easy to end up very close to the side cushion. So to run through, get off the cushion, have his hand on the table. Just coming around now. Just have a better look at the pack. Try and work out a plan.
38.
Be very mindful of what's happened in the last couple of frames when he's been in and missed to this left corner. No mistake this time with the black though, and look at the reds. This is a golden chance for Jones.
46.
Yeah, lovely cannon there. Caught the red perfect.
47.
This blue for his highest break of the match so far.
It'll require a massive effort, obviously, to come back and win this match. But
52.
makes it a lot easier if you can win frame or frames in one visit. Takes less out of you.
53.
Just let the white run on a fraction there. We've seen Ronnie miss black very similar to this in the last frame. And because he was just a fraction off perfect on the black, made the cannon a bit more difficult.
60.
Still is this red, but pressure on it. Yeah, beautiful striking. You can see there.
61.
Perfect cueing. Middle of the white, middle of the red, middle of the pocket.
So this black and one more red, and he'll have pulled the frame back. The initial red to get in was very nicely controlled. The black had pressure on it, but he didn't flinch. He wants another red here. OSullivan delayed in his push for victory.
$75. $76.
And with the frame safely secured, Jones can now push on to try and make his 11th century of the season. Of course, he was semi-finalist at the English Open, within a frame of making the title match.
83.
Denied by the eventual winner, Mark Allen. But clearly in good form after a fairly modest season last season when he only made one ranking quarter-final.
$9. 91.
But this has been top class.
$97. $98.
Very well played. The previous two frames were hurtful ones for Jones to
105.
lose, having missed reds at key moments. But he's made no mistake in this frame. He's still got a lot to do to turn this match his way, but this is a good way to start the comeback.
One to 13. $150. $180. $122. $127.
A typically gutsy riposte this from the Welshman.
133.
It's been a beautifully executed break to keep his hopes alive. Super. A 140 total clearance. Just to remind Ronnie O'Sullivan that he's still around and, given the opportunity, more than capable of taking it. He reduces his arrears, but O'Sullivan still just one frame away from the last 8 here in XiaN. He now leads by 4 frames to 2.
Yeah, it's noticeable in the modern game. Players are far more quicker to look for re-rack.
No, sorry, back.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense. I mean, ultimately, sport is an entertainment, and if things get bogged down, it's not fun for anyone, really. Spectators, players, obviously.
I did my best.
Well, I wasn't going to mention that. 2 hours and change.
Here we go, here we go.
Have you been reminded about that at all?
Only every day.
It still blows my mind that there were 50 minutes devoted to the final yellow. Is that correct?
I believe so.
5-0. O'Sullivan's won matches in that time, and with plenty to spare.
Can we move on?
Oh, a bit of luck there. Handy nudge off the other red, and an apology from O'Sullivan.
1.
This match is not over. Jones now well and truly in stroke with that 140, so O'Sullivan won't be taking anything for granted, but that's a great bit of cueing on the yellow. He made that look easy. It wasn't.
Yeah, not everybody would have went for that.
3.
If he missed it, he was leaving this red. But he's never been one to take a backward step.
4. Nine.
Caught the pink there inside, just push over towards the black. Also might affect the path of the white. Going back up the table. Very well. Couldn't play that any better. Always difficult when they're so close to make a good strike. And of course, not
16.
hit it twice.
17.
Just had a little look there. See him stretching. Just deciding where he'd like the white to be. Put it in a position that he doesn't have to use the rest. Of course, even if it is a bit of a stretch, he could use his left hand.
22.
Just seeing, does that black go past the yellow? Love to pot that and get it back on its spot. Notice when he goes around, it doesn't take his eyes off the table. Doesn't miss a trick.
$23.
Noticeable also this week, mannerism Ronnie has. Before he gets down to play, you just see him tap the butt of the cue on the floor. First I thought he was doing it to maybe get rid of some excess chalk, but I actually think he's using it as a trigger
29.
before the shot. We've never seen him do it before. If he wins this tournament, half the country will be doing it.
Well, he's not happy with that one. He's overscrewed. Not on his intended red. Looks like end of
36.
break. Just when he was entertaining thoughts of finishing the match. Smiling, but internally livid.
Yeah, he's so far out of position. I'm not sure if he's underscrewed or overscrewed. It doesn't look like he'd get on those two reds to pot. So for him, a rare and bad misjudgment. Might well have compounded by leaving this red to
Ronnie OSullivan.
right
36.
corner.
I'm sure Jones was fearing the worst there, wasn't he?
Absolutely, yeah.
As it is. One good pot, and he could be back in business here.
One.
Good red, but very much amidships in terms of position.
Jet Jones. 1.
Previous red was quite difficult, couldn't overly commit to position. Important passage of play coming up. Little mini game to see who pots the next red, creates the next opportunity. Jack could be very aware. Makes one more mistake, could be his last. Came down to see, is this a plant? It is.
1.
And played in such a way, come past the baulk line. Great opportunity to close out the frame and match. Jack would be feeling a bit sorry for himself in the chair. Couldn't have foreseen that in playing the shot, he'd leave that plant.
5, 6.
And after the surprise positional misstep just now from O'Sullivan, it's hard to imagine he'll make a similar error this time. Jones with that brilliant 140 total clearance, but is that going to be as good as it gets for him today?
Ronnie goes on to win. Be interested to hear in his interview. Seemed to be a bit unhappy with some point the balls, also the table.
Yeah, he's been giving his tips some attention as well at points during this match.
14.
I think he's had a new one put on fairly recently, although that's nothing new for O'Sullivan, of course. He was taking to biting them off at one stage, wasn't he?
Yeah, he looks a new tip, all right. But again, very good signs. He hasn't been at his best. Maybe the conditions aren't at their best, but it hasn't affected him. Certainly hasn't affected his concentration or attitude. We have seen in the past smaller things bother them.
17.
These are all very good signs coming into the weekend.
And traditionally, I think he's seen, you know, difficult conditions, whatever the cause, as a challenge rather than something to shy away from. Yes, he's been a bit more vocal this week about
18.
the table, but generally speaking, it's never something that seems to faze him. And when you look at the way he's scoring this week, it doesn't seem to be affecting him overly.
23.
On the cusp now, this red. Another black, and it's surely over. Another very impressive performance from O'Sullivan. Jack Jones has played his part. The 140 total clearance was outstanding, and there were a couple of other frames where he had chances and was punished heavily for missing.
31.
A couple of reds into the left corner, proving
32.
very significant for him. But O'Sullivan looks very strong again, just as he did in Saudi. And it's going to be Gary Wilson for a place in the last four. Another match that promises much. Wilson in great form again. Made a 147 himself recently. 5-0 win today. So this tournament really bubbling up into something
39.
special in terms of the climax over the
40.
weekend and on Monday for the final.
The form and mood he's in, you do feel
46.
to beat Ronnie, they're going to have to be at their absolute best.
47. 54. 56. 59.
58 in the first frame, 135 total clearance in the second. An even 100 in the fourth, 53 in the next. Jones responding with his own brilliant TC, but
68.
O'Sullivan finishing in style.
$74.
The clearance of 81 to seal the deal for the 7-times world champion Ronnie O'Sullivan. Jack Jones congratulates him sportingly, and the pair exchange some friendly words at the end of the match. But O'Sullivan is going to take some stopping, there's no question about it. He's cueing beautifully. He says that he's cueing beautifully, which perhaps is the most significant aspect of it, because he doesn't normally talk himself up, but he's looking very strong. He's gone through by 5 frames to 2. He'll play Gary Wilson on Saturday for a place in the semi-finals, and that promises to be another humdinger. It's been a positive week for Jones, who of course made the semis of the English Open, so he's on an upward trajectory again. after a modest season last time out. But O'Sullivan, once again, looking like the man to beat, albeit that Sean Murphy